This is Kings River. It is located in Central California and it flows for 133 miles southeast of Fresno. People take advantage of this river and its surrounding environment for a variety of recreational activities such as whitewater rafting, kayaking, fishing for trout, and just exploring the landscape. This river originates high in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. As the snow caps at the top of the mountain range melt, the runoff eventually makes its way down the slopes, feeding the river. The Pine Flat Dam was built to take advantage of the water flowing in Kings River. The kinetic energy from the fast-moving water is harvested and converted into electrical energy to be used as a power source. The dam also creates a reservoir for farmers to use to irrigate their crops, and it creates a water source for the Central Valley communities. Most importantly, Pine Flat Dam allows engineers to control the amount of water that is released into Kings River as the snow caps melt. This is important because if too much water is released, it could lead to flooding. Typically, Kings River does not cause any major problems. However, that changed during the summer of 2017. During the month of June, the Central Valley community was facing very hot weather. Temperatures soared way beyond 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which led to an even bigger problem: wildfires. Now, we all know that when ice gets left out, it melts. So, with that in mind, guess what happened to the snow caps at the top of the Sierra Mountain Range due to the wildfires? Well, if you guess that they melted, then you are
correct!
To make matters even worse, there was a higher amount of snow than usual at the peak of the mountains due to the harsh winter. So there was a lot of runoff. California officials had no way of measuring how fast the snow caps were melting since they were in such remote locations. The Army Corps of Engineers used the Department of Water Resources runoff forecasts to try and come up with a strategy to release the runoff that was collecting in the Pine Flat Reservoir in a way that it would not have a big impact on the flow of Kings River. Unfortunately, the Department of Water Resources runoff forecast was far from accurate, and as a result, engineers were forced to release large amounts of water from Pine Flat Reservoir to make room for more runoff. Kings River was not equipped to handle the amount of water that was released, and consequently, the river flooded its banks. It did not help that Kings River was congested with vegetation, debris, and sediment. This buildup restricted water flow, which also contributed to flooding. Prior to the river flooding, as water levels increased in the river, communities such as the Riverbend Mobile Home Park and the Riverland Resort located in Kingsburg, California, were evacuated. The lake at the Riverland Resort rose 25 feet in 12 hours, and 300 people and a total of 148 campsites were evacuated. Levees and sandbags installed at the Kingsburg Gun Club and Kingsburg Golf and Country Club were unable to prevent the overflow of water, so these areas flooded. In addition, the flooding caused 90 people to be displaced from their homes, and 4 acres of alfalfa fields and an RV park in Tulare County were flooded. In all, this flooding event created around $100,000 in damages. Even in disaster, people still managed to make light of the situation. Although the backyard of the Wake House Wood Fire Grill and Barrel was flooded, it did not stop them from serving the community. The restaurant turned their backyard into a kiddie pool and invited the community to bring their volleyballs, swimming tubes, and positive attitudes. After the flooding of Kings River, engineers have been working to make sure that what happened during the summer of 2017 does not happen again. The James Bypass, a man-made flood channel, was installed so if water levels in Kings River get too high, it can be diverted into the flood channel. Also, recharge stations have been installed near the James Bypass to capture around 800 acre-feet of flood flows.